Like Ms. Capter, I'd like to put a more human face on this discussion. And let me say, Chairman Romer, one thing you can be sure of, whether we're Republicans or Democrats, we've been out there listening to our constituents. We have our ear to the ground. And while New Jersey may not be Ohio with that high rate of unemployment, our unemployment rate in New Jersey is 10.1%. The real unemployment rate is probably close to 17%. It goes across blue-collar, white-collar New Jerseyans and those that represent states around here take this whole issue very, very personally. And so, from a New Jersey perspective, tens of thousands of New Jerseyans are out of work. They have a feeling we don't make anything in this country anymore. So there's not a hell of a lot of consumer confidence. And by and large, I don't mean this as a political statement, they see the economic stimulus package as sort of a colossal waste of money, huge expenditure, all borrowed. And I know that has a political flavor to it. And they say to me, what are you doing down there? Well, Mr. Pastor and I are on the Energy and Water Subcommittee. As of Monday, the Department of Energy has spent just $2.9 billion of the $37 billion that was provided to it in the Stimulus Act more than a year ago. That's less than 8%. In other words, 92% of the Recovery Act funding provided to the Department has yet to hit the street. 3 programs, energy efficiency and renewable energy, Office of Electricity and Fossil Energy, amount for nearly $24 billion of unspent stimulus dollars, nearly equal to the amount appropriated to the entire Department of Energy in fiscal year 2010. Let me repeat that. Accounting for nearly $24 billion of unspent stimulus dollars, nearly equal to the amount appropriated to the entire Department of Energy. What is going on?
Let me just very quickly, what I was trying to answer before, one of the best ways to see what the Recovery Act is doing is in the projects that are actually started. So we do have some 12,000 transportation projects going. I have a number here, almost 3,000 projects at military bases, the revamping of those facilities.
Let's talk about one of the major initiatives of the administration, which is clean energy, clean jobs. What is happening in the bureaucracy here? I know there's a problem with loan guarantees and things of that nature. Have we not hired enough people to handle all this money, or what's going on?
I think that's OMB.
Congressman, if I could jump in here, and I'm sure you either have had or will have the opportunity to talk to Secretary Chu in more detail about the Department of Energy's activities. But I would note a few things. First, it takes time to get new programs up and running. Second, out of the $36 billion, more than $25 billion has been obligated. So while the money has not actually been distributed, it's been, the recipients, et cetera, have been identified, and the money is now starting to flow. So in a lot of cases, what was involved here was new activities or new programs. The Department of Energy wanted to make sure that it was done right so that we didn't have problems either with fraud or with improper payments. That took a bit of time, but the money is now, the system is now operating and working. And let me just take this opportunity, there's been some discussion of the Recovery Act, to point out, and here I think we need to tribute the Vice President's activities, and knock on wood, but to date there have not been the kinds of stories about substantial fraud and substantial abuse that one may have expected given an activity this large. So, and I credit that to the aggressive efforts that the Vice President has taken to speak to governors, to speak to mayors, to speak to recipients, to say, don't do this.
Well, with all due respect, you might take a look at the Department of Energy's IG report, some of the concerns, and that's an independent entity. First of all, a lot of money is going out to the states, as you're aware of. I understand the difference between outlays and so forth, obligations, but in reality, a lot of money is going out to the state. I think only 9% of the money that's going out to the states has been spent. So people back home are wondering what the hell's going on here. Besides all of the money being borrowed, they wonder, when are they actually going to see private sector jobs? And that's another issue here, is that, what are we doing to concentrate on private sector jobs? I understand you want 600,000 public sector jobs, but people back home want to actually work for themselves, not for the government. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Actually, I have just one fact to add, which is if you look at the second quarterly report on the Recovery Act done by the Council of Economic Advisors, we actually looked at the clean energy sector and the whole range of money that's been spent in that area, and we identified almost 52,000 clean energy jobs as of the fourth quarter of 2009. So it's certainly there. It's not nearly as big as it's going to be eventually, but it certainly is, as Peter said, starting.
Let me simply